Hello, and welcome to Super Great Kids Stories, wise tales from storytellers around the world, which will make you laugh and sometimes cry. Recommended for ages 5 to 105. I'm Kim, and I love stories. The story today is a Jewish trickster story about how a fox fooled an angel when the world was new, and it's told by Pamela Marre. You have to be a little bit brave listening to this one because it's got a scary sea serpent in it called Leviathan. Now, here's my question. If you were ordered by a scary monster to go and live at the bottom of the sea, I wonder what you'd do. Would you go? Or would you try to trick your way out of it? Have a little think while we have a quick word with the grown-ups, and I'll be right back to see what you'd do. Hello, Super Great Kids. It's me again. Well, what would you do? Would you stay? Or would you do what you were told and go to live at the bottom of the sea? Let's have a listen to Pamela Marre and see what that crafty fox did. Are you sitting comfortably? Then let the story begin.
When animals had been created on earth and in the seas, including Leviathan, who was a huge and extremely fierce sea serpent who lived at the bottom of the ocean, Leviathan was promised to be ruler of the seas, and he was told that he would have one of every kind of creature that lived on earth. So once all the animals had been created on earth, an angel came and took one of every kind of creature and threw each into the sea to go down to Leviathan's kingdom. Which is why to this day we have dogfish, catfish, sea horses, sea spiders, zebra sharks, sea robins, eagle rays, elephant seals, and I'm sure you can find more. Now the fox saw what the angel was doing, flinging one animal after another into the depths of the ocean, and he really didn't want to be sent to live in the water under the rule of ferocious Leviathan. So when he saw the angel approaching him, he ran over to a clear, deep pool of water lying in between some rocks, and gazing down on it, he began to cry. "Ah! Ah! Ah!" "Why are you crying?" asked the angel as he came towards the fox. "Ah, me! Ah, me!" answered the fox between sobs. "I am crying for my brother, whom you threw into the depths of the water. I wish he could have stayed up here with me." The angel looked down into the water and, seeing the fox's reflection, thought it was a real animal. "No need to cry," said the angel. "Your brother has simply moved to the ocean to live another kind of life." And the angel moved on. The fox chuckled to himself at his own cleverness, and with his tail held high he ran off to his earth. When the angel's work was finished, Leviathan gathered all the animals together at the bottom of the sea. But then the weasel whispered in his ear and told him that the fox alone was missing. When the story of the fox's cunning spread among all the other animals, many of them began to laugh, saying Leviathan was not as powerful as he thought he was. Leviathan became very angry. "How dare the fox try and outwit me?" he bellowed, and he commanded the fishes to go and get the fox and bring him to Leviathan. "But how will we persuade him to come with us?" they cried. "Surely you can think of a way to bring him to me," demanded Leviathan. So the fishes swam up from the depths and through the seas towards the shore, and when they reached the shallows, they started to jump together out of the water, one after another, so that the sun glinted off their silver scales, and they looked like a living fountain rising and falling from the waves. The fox came strolling along the shore and was stopped in his tracks by the curious sight. He called to the fishes and asked what they were doing. We're trying to attract your attention," the fishes replied. "Why?" demanded the fox. Because Leviathan is ill, and he thinks you're the cleverest animal on earth, so he has sent us to bring you to his kingdom so that you can rule in his place. Will you come?" The fox raised his head with pride. "Of course," he said. "But how shall I get there without drowning?" "The largest of us will carry you on his back," replied the fishes, "and not one hair on your head or your tail shall get wet." "Very well," agreed the fox, and he mounted the biggest fish, and the shoal swam quickly out into the deeper waters. As the fish swam, the paws of the fox soon dragged in the water, and he began to complain. "Hey, fish! My paws are wet." "Oh, but your head and your tail are still dry," the fish called back, and they swam on until the fox's belly became wet. "Hey, fishes!" cried the fox. "My belly is wet." "But your head and your tail are still dry," they called back to him, laughing. "Ha ha ha ha! But maybe not for long." Then the fox realized he'd been tricked. "Tell me the truth," he cried. "What are you going to do with me?" "Oh, we are taking you to Leviathan," said the fishes, "but not to become ruler. He has heard how cunning you are and how you avoided being brought to his kingdom, and he is very, very angry. Why, he might even take your heart so that he can become as clever as you." "Ay, ay, ay!" wailed the fox, while he thought as quickly as he could how to get out of this terrible situation. "Ay, ay, ay! Why did you not tell me the truth in the beginning? If I had known that Leviathan wanted my heart, I would have given it willingly. But you didn't tell me, and I haven't brought it with me." "Not brought it with you?" the fish cried in alarm, and started to swim round each other in a confused circle. "Of course not," said the fox. "You don't think that we foxes carry something as precious as our hearts around with us, do you? I keep it safe at home in a box." Oh, what shall we do?" cried the bewildered fish. "I think the best thing would be to take me back to the shore so that I can run home and collect it," said the fox. "If you take me to Leviathan without it, I will have to tell him that you didn't tell me what he wanted, and that when I found out, you refused to take me back to collect it." Oh, very well," agreed the fish, and they turned tail and swam back to the shore. When the fox leapt from their backs into the shallows and felt the sand beneath his paws, he barked for joy and ran up the beach. Be quick! Be quick!" cried the fish urgently at his retreating back. The fox turned to look at them. "Be quick? Are you really so foolish as to believe that any animal can walk around without its heart inside? You can go back to Leviathan. I'm staying here." And the fox turned tail and ran. When the fishes returned to Leviathan without the fox, Leviathan was so angry that he opened his mouth and swallowed the lot of them. Ever since then, the fox has always been known for his cunning, and the fish have always been thought of as having very small brains, and they have been food for all the larger creatures of the sea.
Oh, poor little fish. They were a bit silly though, weren't they? They needed someone clever like you to tell them what to do. Thanks for that story, Pamela, and thank you all for listening. A special thanks to our listeners in Liverpool. And you've all been so kind in reviewing us and sending in lovely pictures and support. I'd like particularly to thank Layla in Virginia, who sent in a beautiful painting of the fish and the star story. And Anthea, who is 5, who sent in a delightful detailed picture of how the rainbow got into the sky. Do check them out on our Facebook page at facebook.com/supergreatkidsstories. We'd love to see any pictures of our stories. And a big thanks to Edward and his family in Surrey for supporting us on Ko-fi. If you'd like to support us, go to kofi.com/supergreatkidsstories. Or you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, where you can listen ad-free, get early access to the next story, and get one super great bonus story a month. And hello to Casper, who is almost 4, who contacted us to say he loves Mrs. Rabbit and the Fox. And last but not least, thanks to Carla, Tucker's grandma, who sent us a very heartening review on Apple Podcasts. Thank you. We love hearing from you all. See you soon, and keep telling those stories.